When the Hammer Falls, Led Zeppelin Untold Adventures. Written by Geoffrey Giuliano. Narrated by Geoffrey Giuliano.
Though at their height their music was everywhere, few have really heard the band speak out at any great length. Several years ago, however, back in the early 70s, the now legendary collective traveled to Australia, where they held an impromptu press conference, taking questions on not only their jet-powered music, but their thoughts on the industry itself, as well as their observations on performance and their personal musical heroes. For Zeppelin fans, this previously unreleased media event is nothing less than musical history. For everyone else, it is quite simply the singular opportunity to hear the members of a group we all grew up with kick back and wax philosophical.
Sort of heard about the Faces, and then there was nothing about them for a long time until Rod Stewart.
It was a shame, really, because, you know, I really did rate Steve Marriott. You know, he was... when they first started, he could play about 2 chords on the guitar, but the whole thing that they built up on stage, they got one record out, what you going to do about it? And they went on stage and they were really, they had all the fire, you know. They were really exciting. Probably as exciting or even more exciting than the who had just been around a little while at that time, you know, when they had the Union Jacks on the Vox equipment and all that. And they were really fine. And things like Ichiku Park and Tin Soldier, really good things, you know. And then they went through all the old crap, and I don't know what they did.
What about Ogden's Nut Conflicted, the album? What do you think of that?
It's pretty good. I thought they were good. But nowadays, Stevie Marriott went off to do something else. It's a pity, really, because they did all mix well musically. You know, they did. And being all the same size as well, you just go...
Have you heard any Australian music? What, Australian bands at all?
We've seen a fantastic television show. New Faces, yeah. If that sums up the... Teresa Brewer, if that sums up the... what's going on, you know.
What about people like Cat Stevens, Robert? Do you go for that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I think he's quite good.
Anybody
Very
else
good.
in that similar vein? Sort of the old...
Have you heard Roy Harper? No. Have you heard that album, the last album, Crumbs? Stormcock. It was his last album, and that was...
You did, that's something about him on the last album.
Hats off to Harper. Yeah, Harper's really an amazing character all round. He was in the RAF for about 9 years. He learned to play snooker with both hands, and discharged himself. He was insane in the end. But he's upset. He's gone on the BBC and really... said things he's not supposed to say and all that about it. Well, here I'm in the middle of everything I hate, man, and I don't really know whether it's there, but it's cool and everybody listening will understand. And like, beep, bleep, bleep, you know, get him off. But he does create some amazing music.
Listen, your first trip out here, Jim, I saw you in the Yardbirds when you came here the first time. What were your impressions of the place the very first trip you came out here? If you remember back that far.
Well, I just enjoyed it, you know. It's just a big loon for me. I wasn't really looking at it in any sort of social sense at all, you know.
No, but as soon as you got up on stage then and you said to the crowd at the stadium, remember that old ramshackle place?
That was great there, actually. Had a really fine atmosphere.
Yeah. You got out and you did the bit with the bow on the guitar at that stage, and that was, you know, the whole audience had never seen anything like it before in the country. The thing was just incredible. Were you doing it live before that, before you joined the Yardbirds?
Well... Not really, because I was doing session work before that. I did one session with it, but it never got released. But once I joined the Yardbirds, I started doing it. I don't think anybody else was doing it just at that particular time.
The group broke up after Happenings 10 years time ago, and that was the last sort of...
No, yes, probably with Jeff Beck, yes. But the group that you saw over here was one that was just a remainder. Just 4 of us instead of 5. It had always been a 5-man group up to that point. Yeah. And we recorded with Mickey Most. The less said about that, the better. No, he really messed it up. You see, we had an LP to do, and we finished it in about 10 hours, I think. So much so that we had a pianist in, Stu, who was the road manager for the Rolling Stones, and he still plays on their records even now. And we did 2 blues things. And
Sample complete. Ready to continue?